This game was being played by what seemed like every single streamer in the middle of 2023.
Captain Crunch is up here, and he's laughing at me.
But 3 months later, it was permanently removed from Steam because of controversy over copyright violations and NFT promotion. 1 year later, I saw clips of Only Up on YouTube, and I wanted to play it. But I couldn't, because the original game has been buried by the sands of time. How can I possibly bring something back from the grave? I only had one option left, an option that might be familiar to perusers of abandonware. I went to my local black magic crypt and asked the shadow necromancers for a favor. By necromancers, I mean peer-verified uploaders, and by favor, I mean a copy of Breaking Bad Halal No Punjabi 2012 free download. Is it morally acceptable for me to ask my necromancer homies for otherwise unobtainable software? Well, philosophically, the abandonware argument is one that goes beyond the legal sphere into the realm of artistic morality. It is the assertion that a company that refuses or is unable to profit from a work for which it has gained legal rights is immorally acting to the detriment of art if they choose to sit on the property and allow no access to it from the world at large, and are behaving as the miser from Aesop's namesake fable who hoarded gold he refused to actually spend, thus ironically making it completely worthless in practice. I am not sure if that applies to Only Up. The truth is, I don't really care. So I will fall back on this quote from Gabe Newell. The game begins in the impoverished slums of Brazil. The main character, a girl called Jackie Only Up, introduces you to the main premise of the game. Every up has its down. This phrase is a metaphor for life, and it will be beaten into you as you climb on a series of precariously placed floating objects. But there is a corollary, just as true, that makes all of this worth it. Every down has its up. Emboldened by the flame of ambition, you begin your journey out of poverty, passing through what seems like a surreal representation of Jackie's life story. You drag yourself to the top of the favelas, where you and your family have lived for as long as you can remember. You climb past rusted pipes and railways, past the oil rig where your abusive father worked, past half-finished buildings and shipping containers, until you finally reach the big city. You've never been so far away from home, but you keep climbing past shopping malls, a park, and a Ferris wheel, luxuries you've never seen before. You climb the corporate ladder and move into a beautiful 20 square feet studio apartment that costs $3,000 a month. Soon, you're making enough money to afford an office with its own solid gold toilet and Rolls-Royce. Your physiological and safety needs are met. You've achieved prestige, and so you take a momentary break to celebrate, to relax with your crown. But the music will get stale. Look up, and you'll see that there are higher peaks to climb. And so you continue, through religion, education, and self-actualization. You travel the world and delve into your past to conquer your greatest fears. Finally, near the end, you understand and forgive your father, and realize that the true meaning of life is in life itself. Wow, maybe the real treasure isn't the destination, but the friends who remind us that it's only up from here. Remember that when you reach rock bottom, you can go only up. I'm reading a book on anti-gravity. It's impossible to put down though, because it's going only up. Along the way, many will tell you that you can't make it, trying to pull you back down. Perhaps they have a point. After all, one slip-up, one mistake, will send you tumbling back down to the favelas. But as long as you keep going, you'll eventually reach the top. It is the few who persist, even after endless catastrophic failures, who are crowned with final victory. This game really takes me back to the Roblox obbies I used to play 500 years ago. When compared to similar games like Getting Over It or Jump King, Only Up is unique because it is fully 3D. There's no feeling quite like standing on a slippery dumpster that's floating several thousand feet in the air. I think the main feature that gives Only Up its charm is the intense level of jank. The narrator is an AI text-to-speech.
From here, you have a great view of the favelas.
The side camera view makes the character drift slightly towards the right. The collision boxes for certain objects are extremely suspicious. The music and sound effects are twice as loud as the narration. And of course, the infamous scripted Bifrost Fall. Perhaps intended to be streamer clickbait, or perhaps intended to teach you that good times don't last forever. Even so, neither do the bad times. If you make the mistake of stepping on this, the game will smite you with invisible walls and throw you all the way back down to where you began. All of your progress lost. I won't complain about this, because that's life. Catastrophes will happen. So what? What are you going to do about it? Cry your eyes out and quit at the first sign of hardship? You have to deal with it, bro. Will you make up some excuse and blame outside circumstances, like the developer's poor game design? Or perhaps the universe hates you because it clearly isn't your fault, and you deserve that win. But you haven't won. So your only choice is to shut up and keep going until you do win. You haven't died. You haven't suffered a debilitating injury. You haven't been forced to eat ass to scrape together enough money for food and rent. Yes, you're back at square one, but you have all of the lessons and knowledge from your previous failures. So get back to work. You might not succeed on the next try. You might not even succeed on the 100th try, because happy endings don't always exist. But if you never stop, then you have two possible outcomes. You win, or you die trying. If you die, then nothing matters anyway, so it's a win-win situation. Imagine a rainbow in the city. Will it still be as pretty if it comes without the rain? A bird might sing more sweetly if all you know is pain. Imagine you've earned your riches and that you finally got some bitches. Would the top still feel the same if all along you've been cheating at the game? Imagine the monotony in gain without a loss. Can pleasure ever be without a cross? After all, the saddest people come the hardest. The happiest people fall the farthest. If you feel like a prisoner waiting for Liberation Day, be patient even when surrounded by the endless gray, because every monochrome city of pain will be a little prettier, slick from the rain. Before it was removed, Only Up was hit with mountains of comments, calling it a cash grab, or talking about its gameplay issues and controversy. But, considering that it's a game design student's first ever solo project, I think the game was pretty good. Hopefully the dev made a fat-ass bag from the game and can use that for his education and future projects. You can find the game at your local Necromancer's Mausoleum. Alright, see ya.
Here,